The following recording is a teacher-to-teacher session that was presented by educators like you at Society for Science's High School Research Teachers Conference. This annual all-expenses-paid conference brings together teachers to share best practices on leading students in STEM research and competitions. The Society is a nonprofit membership organization dedicated to expanding scientific literacy, effective STEM education, and scientific research. If you'd like to reach out to any of the presenters, please contact the Society at teachers@societyforscience.org.
So we teach them to prototype. We teach them about the engineering and design cycle. We invite speakers and we host them. So we do conferences, that type of stuff. All of these things are typical for what we do and for many makerspaces. So how does that promote research within the school? Well, interestingly enough, our school did not have a research program when I started, and it's a really heavy, I guess, humanities school, and the science is probably the weakest department in the whole school. And the only reason that we currently do research is because of the makerspace that I built out, and that led me to sort of wonder about what can you do within that makerspace to enhance research? And I've been playing with that quite a bit and working on different things to get more kids involved with research. We have a very active research program now, something that the school has never really seen before. It's primarily due to the makerspace and the programs that we offer. Jump in.
So how exactly can we have our makerspaces drive this research and interest and participation from our students? Of course, offering programs from a makerspace can inspire students to explore existing interests and also discover new interests that they can build from. We can support teachers. It's not just us, but we can spread to all teachers in our schools to have them come into the makerspace to help them integrate STEM into all classrooms. So it's not just a STEM classroom or a research classroom doing research and STEM projects, but all teachers in our schools. And we can do this by running workshops with students and teachers, and also provide some project-based learning training with our teachers. And of course, teaching creativity and innovation. We all know students love to learn by doing hands-on stuff. So just having a makerspace available for them to get their hands a little dirty, see what there is, be able to rapidly prototype new ideas and see the updates and see the changes will really enhance students' understanding of what they're doing, what they can do. You can start institute programs. We have started some institute programs within our school.
Slide.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, too far. Oh, you already went.
Yeah, I already went. Sorry. So within our own school, we have started our STEAM Institute, and within that institute, we focus on a multitude of subjects: biomedical, engineering, design. We even have a solar research panel that we have students do projects with, and there are many, many more programs that are possible in many schools, and we can even extend those programs to not just interest-based but inclusivity and diversity programs as well, getting them in to get them inspired. We were really proud in the past year of having so many girls coming into our institute more than before. So we actually have overwhelmingly more girls in one of our grades than the boys. So the boys are a little outnumbered. It's very unusual for them. They're kind of a little nervous now. But having students apply to programs based on personal interests, as we all know, when they're interested in a project, they're much more likely to learn about it and do it. So having all of these programs just be based on the student interests, and having them have their own voice in what they want to engage in. And then of course we have our project-based learning instruction that can be extended to our makerspaces and also all STEM classrooms.
So while sharing what we do with you is, important. We also don't want to sit here and lecture the whole time. We really are interested in figuring out how you utilize the makerspaces within your schools or that you've come into contact with, and how you could possibly suggest to us ways to improve as well. So got a little activity that we hope to get you all sort of involved with. And for those of you who are virtual, you may want to take a screenshot of the prompt, because we will be putting you into breakout rooms so that you can work together in groups of 3 or 4. Here, for those of us who are in person, we'll get you some markers and some paper and figure out a way to put you into groups that doesn't move you around too much and doesn't inconvenience you too much. There might be a, some way that you can sort of coalesce into into small groups. And what we're looking for you to do is to spend about 10 minutes discussing the prompts that we have here, and follow that up by a very quick presentation to share with the group and with us your thoughts and your results. So first, considering the makerspace at your school or one that you've used or worked in, how successful is it at driving student research? What areas of improvement are needed? And maybe you can provide some examples. I put 2, but it doesn't have to be 2. And also, if you could design your own dream makerspace, like a moonshot type of thing, what would that look like? What would it include? What features would you like to see within that makerspace in order to enhance research at the school? This is of interest to us, and I think it's also something that would be great if you could recommend to your STEM or STEAM program and see if you can get those things sort of moving within your own schools. So let's do that. So, so if virtual people have taken a screenshot, we'll put you into breakout rooms, and the rest of you can sort of rearrange into groups of 3 or 4. Carly will come around and give you some markers and some paper, and we can get going on the activity. This way you do some hands-on stuff, and you don't have to necessarily listen to me talk for the next half hour. So we'll move to presentations in a couple of minutes. So what we'll do is I'll ask people to come up and present here so that the virtual audience can see you as well. So maybe each group can find a representative from that group that will come up, and or 2 of you can come up and talk. All right, so let's see if we can have some groups coming up and presenting. We have maybe 1 or 2 people from your group to come up and share. Do you want to bring the breakout rooms back in? Okay, that's hopefully they're engaged in something.
Or if it's like any breakout room I've ever been in, it's like, okay, what can we do in the last 30 seconds?
2 people. Okay. Feel free to introduce yourselves when you come up, so that to the virtual and real audience.
Hello, we're the dream team. It's Rachel, Michelle, David, and Eva.
All right.
No, that's my job.
Yes, yeah.
You can hold it on the other.
Oh, yes, we can. Very well. Yep, that's it.
Oh, but then you can't read it. This is a problem.
Unless we stood from here, but then they come and cannot. Can you can do this
Ready,
way too?
David?
You
Here we
can do
go.
this way.
Right here.
How about that?
And then you can be like
You can
that.
be, yeah, the micro. Yeah, you can be like that.
Hi, everybody at home.
All right, cool. So the answer to the first question, which is not up there anymore, but our answer was makerspaces drive research by centralizing the resources. Everyone can access them, not just specific teachers or subjects. Ideally, people can use them or reserve them for use in any class. And then we also added the very important, wherever this makerspace is, mistakes should be encouraged in that space. if we were to design our ideal space, some of the places we've seen have all sorts of different things for people to make things like sewing machines, recording technology, 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC mills, spare parts of all kinds, including digital components, Legos, power tools. Important, someone to staff the space and help run it and coordinate some of the things or teachers that are coming into the space. A budget, so that people have the opportunity to buy new things every year as projects come on. Manipulatives, windows, which I think is great, computers and big tables so that students have the space to spread out and work.
That was outstanding. It's definitely super important to have someone staff the space and manage the space, and things go wrong all the time and need to be repaired. And one of the saddest things you could see at a school is a very elaborate and expensive makerspace that no one uses, where it's fallen to disrepair, and that's always less than great. You have another group want to come up and share?
Yeah.
All right. Hi, my name is Victoria. This is Charlotte, and then Victoria as well. So one of the big things that we want to point out is with makerspaces, there is a big misconception that it has to be high tech. And a lot of times high tech means money. So we wanted to highlight that with high tech and also low tech makerspaces, a big part of it is giving students the tools to create. So whether that is having a 3D printer if you're on the high end, or even as simple as having duct tape, old tech supplies that students can just break apart and explore, having different crafts so they can be more creative. And then of course with that furniture piece, so much like the other group pointed out, we want to create collaborative spaces with our makerspace, also as well as an area where they can record. So rather than just maybe making a traditional PowerPoint, can they have an area where they can do a studio so they can film it, so that way that could be uploaded to share, as well as a display area, because once they've created this product, we want them to be able to share it with their peers. And of course storage is so important. But really we wanted to think about how could we incorporate that into research. And so what we thought of was being able to create design challenges utilizing those different pieces of technology. Yeah.
Yeah, well, fantastic ideas. Definitely don't need to make all of the parts of a makerspace high tech. A lot of the low tech stuff gets a lot more use and it's a lot more fun. I've got a lot of chairs in the makerspace that have wheels on them, and it really annoys Carly, who's here with me today, because the kids get on the chairs and they roll themselves around, especially the middle school kids. They love to roll themselves around, propel themselves, across the room, and they also go up and down. So some of them are still quite small, and they'll go up on the chair, but they can't get off, and they can't lower it because they don't weigh enough. So, but it's all very valuable science lessons that they learned just with those chairs. So I've been asked to replace them many times, but I refuse. It's too much fun. Except for when they tip over and fall, because they put their backpacks on them, and that doesn't work out so well. Another group? Anyone else interested in coming up and presenting? We're happy to offer you the opportunity. If you'd like, come on up. Yeah, thank you. 2 more groups to present. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here. You would not believe what I told my friends who were educators. I would never teach. And so when Mo said, you ever seen James Bond? Never say never. And I love it. Thanks so much. I love seeing great teachers. Teachers are like doctors. They save lives, not in the sense of blood, but in terms of lives and careers. We did look at MakerSpaces, and my colleague here, Richard, has some great ideas. He's in a school where he has a greenhouse and aquaponic. And I also added that this would be guided coursework in a hands-on platform. We can actually have kids build a box, could be with glue, as a old school traditional way of growing plants. And we will line it with plastic to try to capture the water. You could put little holes in it, of course, so that some would leak out so it doesn't get overly filled with water. Build the box. Kids love hands-on things. They learn that way. They can feel it, they can touch it, they can smell it, they can taste it, and they get it. The other thing is that we add surrounding topics like photosynthesis. They can go online and they can look at ecology. They can look at other things related, like carbon dioxide, global warming, gases that cause global warming. In photosynthesis, of course, you have CO2 on one side, you come in with oxygen on the other side. Deforestation. Also, an essential question would be, can I grow plants without traditional ingredients? And of course, Richard has come up with the fact that at his school, he has aquaponics. Well, why not introduce hydroponics? That is a growing method of growing plants. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We have one more group coming up to present. All outstanding ideas about how to improve research using MakerSpaces.
Hello. Hi. We're all from Virginia. Shanae. I'm from Hampton. Yeah. Vanita. Hannah. And we both teach at Mountain Vista Governor School. And rather than repeat some of the great ideas that we heard, we figured we would just add to it. Yes. Right? And one of the things that we saw in terms of MakerSpaces, although officially our school doesn't really have one, is empowering students to take ownership of a particular idea. For example, in our school, we got an Arduino grant, and we've gotten about 40 of those kits. And our students typically do a research project in their junior year. So giving ownership to one of the students to say, why don't you train your peers on something like this? And that's actually happened. So during the shutdown, anytime we need a student to do something, it's typically the child of a teacher, in case any of you have kids at school. So just empowering a student to say, why don't you develop some videos and stuff since you're at home and shut down and going crazy and driving everybody else crazy too. And go into our flex day when we have flexible learning time to work with other students hands-on, and everybody's on the Arduino and they're going through a particular set of modules that a student's created and learn how to use some feature. And then those students take that, say, for example, learning how to use the digital humidity and temperature sensor. And those students use that and employ it as part of their research project. And that's kind of one of the things with our research course that we're looking at. So I don't know if you all wanted to add.
I'll add that we talked about how impactful it is also to pull the community in and involve them in your space. So maybe as simple as like an exhibition day where you involve the community and show them what you're doing. Or I've seen MakerSpaces where the community can come in and check out tools or use the space and use the tools. And that makes it a lot more impactful.
We're not talking.
Thank you so much. Any progress on the virtual? No? You won't be able to present. Well, regrettably, we won't be able to see the virtual presentation, but we will keep you in mind. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. It was, actually a very difficult time when everything went virtual for us. Working in a makerspace, we had to really think quickly how to keep the programs running. So we shipped kits to students at home, so they created their own little makerspaces in their rooms so we can continue to do our institute classes. We had a little bit of time to prepare over the summer as we were entering into like a hybrid mixed instead of the full shutdown type of schedule. So we provided literally little suitcases of materials for kids so that they can create their own space and continue to learn at home and in school. It was certainly at the challenging time for maker spaces and for STEM teachers and that type of curriculum. So I appreciate you bringing that up. We're still sort of emerging from that at this point and hopefully eventually getting back to a normal. But these types of conversations and this exchange of ideas is exactly what we need in order to improve how makerspaces are run and how we can, from a STEM perspective, support science teachers and math teachers and create more research opportunities for students. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day. Have a great conference.